Good thing lots of lag. Guess what I screwed up?
Uh,
I never hit go live.
oh shit.
So you get to
Well, I'll
go.
just set this over here.
Yeah, you are.
Hey, there
You,
we go. Now it's not that bad. It's only about
my
20
bad.
seconds.
We have lag issues tonight. You guys won't see this for a minute, but it kind of messed me up. So you would just when I hit go live, you were wait. Now we're good.
We're good. There's no lag.
Now the lag is fine. Okay, we start
So we just went live.
clusterfuck of a day and night. Hey, we're live. The preview just had 3.5 minutes of lag.
Oh,
Welcome to another Thursday night jam with RCJesus and SASquatch. I love these kind of nights. And yeah, he's back, no lag. Okay, yeah. Whoops, my bad. Sometimes I'm retarded. It happens. So we'll start again. You guys chime in with any questions. I had a long, crazy day. I had a business meeting tonight at 7:30. Got home just in time to do this. I don't feel like messing with the RC10cc. If you read the description, you know all this. Chris has a bunch of cool shit done, particularly the crane, but some other stuff. So
yeah.
even though Chris just did a great description of all this, none of you got to see. Here you go. He can do it all again. You know,
I got lots of practice.
yeah, practice round. And you did such a great job the first time around.
All right. So working on a brooder crane chuck conversion. I think I showed you guys last week a little. I think we're working on the chassis last week. So we'll grab that back out. Okay. So yeah, here's the chassis. I think last week I had the rear axles mounted, and that was as far as I went. It's done and driving now, so it's all pretty much WPL stuff, which is like 14th scale. It's kind of an odd one. It's not the actual WPL brand. It's like aftermarket for WPL, so they're all aluminum housings, all metal drive line. I mean, metal internals, metal drive lines. So, but yeah, it's all functioning. Yeah, so leaf spring suspension. Right now, it has a pretty long, solid drive line. I'm thinking I might split this, put like a pillow, mount there, bearings, carrier bearing, and make it a dual. We'll see. I have the parts to do it. I'll just have to print that part and put the bearings in it, and we'll see. I'll probably do it. Front drive line, steering hooked up. Little circle there, short steering linkage, nothing fancy.
Short throwing
the tires, yeah, the dually in the back scale. So I 3D printed some pieces to allow these to be dualies, functioning dualies, so they're locked into each other without messing up the aesthetics. On the front, I had to 3D print and make some of these spacers here to bring the front tire out for the track width to be right.
Okay.
Because the offset on these wheels obviously weren't right, so it would have been right here.
Yeah.
And you can see if I put them here, it would have been really far in. So
yeah,
did that. So that's nice. Everything track width's right. Everything looks right when the body's on it. Yeah, runs, drives, moves, does things it's supposed to do. Not super fast, but lots of torque, which it's going to need. It's going to have quite a bit of weight on it once everything's on. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. It's kind of cool the way everything worked out. I just basically went in and hacked out all the plastics, leveled the chassis out so it's flat and level. Funny enough, once the leaf springs were mounted to these axles, the width of the outside of the leaf spring was the same width as the inside of this chassis.
Happy accident.
So drill hole, mount jackal. I mean, it was perfect, like it's meant to be. Like we were talking about just a minute ago, it sometimes feels like Brooder was like, oh yeah, people are gonna make these RC. And then there's other times where you're trying to take it apart and you're like, fuck Brooder right now. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Because it's
those little
bitch to take apart.
Safety keepers in the heads.
Yeah, they just have these weird funky clips, and like I've kind of learned the trick with them. But like today I was taking a part off and there's just no room inside the space where the clip is to get a tool in there to slip them. So it's like you don't want to break them because then when you go to put it back together, it won't be snapped together.
Yeah.
And then you have to glue it. And I don't want to glue it because I want to have access to the parts to work on stuff. So it's just tedious. It's really tedious to take them apart and not break it. I broke some tabs, but there's enough tabs that it holds itself together.
And you
And
can
I learned
Wayne actually figured out a way. He modified his where it like
Mhm.
locks in still, but
Yeah,
pops right apart real easy.
and I figured that out. I figured out how to do that on some of them. So like like I just did.
Yeah.
I figured out how to do that, so it doesn't take a lot of pressure to pop it off. Next layer. This is the bed that sits on top of the frame, kind of the flat bed. One thing I ran into on this, well, actually, it's kind of cool, is you can see these gears here, these teeth, kind of molded in for like a scale look, because like a real truck would have that, be hydraulic road. But they didn't use it originally in the toy. Like there was no little crank arm or anything that moved along. It just was molded in there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it looks a lot like Mod 1. So I threw a Mod 1. Yeah, so I threw a Mod 1 pinion on there and sure as shit, it locked right in. Yeah, so I threw a Mod 1 pinion on there and
You gotta turn your sound down.
it locked right in. Wasn't my.
I couldn't
Oh,
hear
that
you,
was
but now I can.
I must have bumped a button on my keyboard. So so what I did is on the bottom of the crane house here, you can see I 3D printed a pinion, mounted it to a full size 360-degree servo. So it's a servo that doesn't stop. It just
Yeah,
keeps
continuous.
rotating one way or the other. And
Like a servo
line
winch
it all
servo,
up.
basically.
Yeah, kind of like a servo winch servo. Yep. And so that works perfect. On the arms here, these swing out. And these have, I put actuators in here. They slid in almost perfectly. It was actually pretty wild. There's little grooves that were inside of here for the original plastic ones that slid to keep them aligned.
Mm.
So I just ground the grooves down, filed them down just enough so these fit in, friction fit perfect.
Yeah, you tap them in, right?
Yeah, just tapped them in. They just stuck out just a little, which is fine because I'm going to build a little foot that goes over that so you won't even
Yep.
see it unless it's retracted, which won't matter.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be putting some servos in here to swing these out. I don't know if you can see, which one is it? Oh, it's on this side. On this side, excuse me. I'll be putting servos in here to swing these out. So you can see on this one, I've actually built an arm already. So that mechanical part's there.
Yeah,
And I'll
and
be mounting it.
we were talking before the show. He's like, "Well, shit, where am I going to mount servos? I'm going to have to make crazy linkage."
Yeah.
Then he took the top off and realized, "Oh, fuck, yet again,
Yeah.
it's almost built
So
to
this
be modified."
this whole piece here goes on top. So when it's in place, you won't see any of that.
Yep,
It's all hidden under.
that's
So
awesome.
it was a bear to get this off.
Yeah.
This was a man, it was not fun to do it and not break it. I was working on it all morning and I'd work on it for about 10 or 15. I'd be like, fuck you, I'm setting you aside.
Yep.
Watch a
do that
YouTube video
sometimes.
too. Motivation come back up. All right, fuck it, come back here real quick. Get a couple more clips. Oh, fuck you, I'm done.
Yep.
It's kind of, it took me all day to finally get that off. So I've just now accessed this and figured out, I think, how I'm going to do it. I had to order some parts. I had to order some servos. They're on their way. So yeah, it does move up and down the whole assembly. I guess I could show you guys that. That's actually pretty easy to
Yeah, have
show
you
off.
wired it up yet?
What's that?
Have you wired it up to actually lift yet?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it lifts up. It does the whole spider thing. Yeah. Here, I'll put on my other camera so you guys can see it better. The other camera will show it better. There it is. Okay. So yeah, a little better. I guess not. It's a little better. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just one servo lead and that. And that.
So they're all just wired to one lead, right?
Yeah, so what I found, which made this is literally what made this function so well, is the actuators I found. You can get them in different lengths. You can get them in different voltages. You can get 24, 12, and 6. So I got 6 volt. So they're pretty much receiver voltage.
Yeah.
But I needed a way to run them. So they're just the motor. There's 2 leads, but they have internal limit switches. So when they get the full length, they stop. Either way. What I found, which I'm pretty sure are just servo guts that they took the potentiometer off of, are these
Okay.
little guys.
Okay.
It's a little speed controller, forward, backward, no brake, simple.
Yep. Yeah, those are the
And
ones you were showing last week that you found and
yeah,
bought them, right?
so I bought these, and these are what I have wired up to all the actuators. And I found out I can run 2 actuators off one. It doesn't even get warm.
Nice.
So I've got, like right now, I've got 4 actuators, and I've got one for the back 2, one for the front 2. And then,
Okay, so that helps you out. If it's not level, you can still get it fairly level when you put the
well, the
feet.
nice thing is, they're all still, it's still Y harness together. So the thing is they go to full travels. So you'll hear there's one that's a little faster. So if you listen, there they go. There's one that takes a little longer than the others, but they
Yeah.
go to full travel, so perfectly level. So, and then I just go down.
That's a
There
good
you go.
speed too. Like, wait till you guys see how the rest of it works. Like the speeds on it are all like right on.
So yeah, those work great. I just got to do the servos to swing the linkage arms out. Let me go back to my other camera before I forget and keep talking like a blubbering idiot. Okay. So frame chassis, you guys saw it come up and down. This thing.
Yep.
All right. So now we've got this guy. So I'm going to drop him on. Locks in. And then gonna hook up all the electronics to this one. So 1, 2, 4. Um, 1. Okay. That in its little pocket. Okay, so on this guy, we have all the movements. So you bring up. Oop, not that one. There we go. That'll come up all the way, almost the vertical.
And that's got internal limiting switches too, right? Where once it
Yeah,
hits,
I'm not.
it'll just
And
stop.
yep. Now I can stop it. I can
Yeah.
stop it wherever I want. But
Yeah.
if it'll get all the way to limit and start itself. So I can't overthrow it. I can't hurt anything. So there we go.
And that's like perfect.
No
Like they
matter what.
don't get much more
Yeah.
vertical than that in real life. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a use for getting. I mean, yeah, that would be useful, but it could lift a lot because it's straight up. But
yeah.
so I'll go back down. Oops, wrong one. I'll bring it back down. Slide this over just a
What's
bit.
up, Sean? Yeah, this thing's coming out awesome. I told him before the show, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna need one of these. It's
So
way
I'll leave this
cheaper than
up,
$15,000
and
for
now
the
I can. I've got full control, as you guys saw with the gears.
nice and smooth.
So another trippy thing. Oh, I guess I'll show you guys the last thing here. So let me go back down. There's this guy. I'll lower this down while I'm doing it.
Can you use two at once?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
and finish.
As you can see, the boom slowly extending like a real
Yep,
one. Well, now you can't see
back down.
it. There we go. That's like perfect, the timing with it coming down and coming out. That was
This
like,
one's a little slower. I
but it
don't
should be.
100% know why, but it is slower. So there we go, fully extended. It is fully erect.
It's very happy right now.
Yep.
And
So
we
then I can bring
talked
it
when
back
the
in.
boom's out, it clears the cab and everything, so he'll be able
Yeah,
to
yeah. The cab comes to
360.
like, well, it's actually on this side. Funny enough, the
Yeah,
cab's over here. This is actually pointing backward. Oh no, wait, never mind. The cab
yeah,
is here.
because
This
there's
is
your
the front.
cradle.
Yeah, my cradle's here. So, yeah, the cab stops like right here, so it goes way out past the cab.
Wayne, Wayne says super rad. Can't wait to run next.
So bring that back
Hopefully by
in.
cabin fever next year, Wayne.
Okay, and then bring it back down to its cradle.
If I take this to cabin fever, you're gonna have like a side income from like 30 people of building these.
So yeah, it all everything functions and does what it's supposed to do. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do with this, one thing I ran into because I'm gonna have lights on it. Oh, something else I haven't shown off yet. Turn it around. I'm sure I'll take out any of my bottles over here or screen or something. So one thing I ran into is it has a weight stack on the back, right? The way this works is it would sit on the back. These little red clips would come up. You'd clip them on, and then you'd be on there. Well, I noticed it was heavy. I'm like, why the fuck? There's something in here. And they're like, it shook it, and I'm like, okay, there's something in there. What the fuck's in that thing? Like, they probably just threw some old bolts or something.
Wait till you see this.
Right? This was a fucking trip. So I took it off. I'm just gonna pull one out because it blows my mind.
You got to show them all in there, though.
There's fucking fishing weights in it.
Yeah.
Old school lead fishing weights. And it's full of them.
Yeah. Brooder
It's
bought out
literally-
some lead fishing lure company, and they were like, "Hey, we got 100,000 of these. We're going out of business. Fire sale." And Brooder's like, "Give them to me."
Right. Or
benefit?
like you were talking about, I did buy this used from like Goodwill online. So like some grandpa was like, "Oh, it's tipping over, son. Come here."
Yep.
You know, dump this tackle box in here because it's like some of these have string on them and are used. There's actually even
Really?
just like some hooks, like just a hook.
You take that
Just a
2 grams to stab yourself in the fingers with.
Dude, and they're rusty as fuck. I don't want to get stabbed by any of these fuckers. So, yeah, that was crazy. And what's funny, it's funny how Wayne talks about if a kid got into this.
Yeah.
This is probably the easiest snap on the whole fucking thing to undo, too.
Yeah,
That's the
because like
crazy
you said, Grandpa already got into it once and fucked it up.
Yeah, this snap was so easy to undo. It's the easiest one, and it's full of fucking sharp weighted objects.
Full of tetanus.
Dude, yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna be taking those out. Maybe not. I might just pour some epoxy in here and let it fly. I don't know.
Right?
But
I know, well,
I'm
we were talking
putting
earlier, you
the
got to
bottom of
magnets can weigh. Or now
yeah.
magnets can lift.
So I'm gonna be putting on the inside of this plastic, I'm gonna be putting some rare earth magnets. And then on the back of this wheelhouse, so it picks them up, put it in place here, picks them up right here in the front. It picks it up. And then you're supposed to have these little red latches you mechanically grab on, and then there it's on there. So what I'm going to be doing though is on here I've got. So let me find one. Where are you? There's one in here.
That melting that lead takes energy and money, Wayne. They're not gonna fucking do that. But I think he's right. I think Grandpa or Dad was like, "Oh, I need some ballast. Here's a bunch of lures I don't use anymore. Here's some random hooks just to stab yourself with, asshole."
Oh, I'm in. I have got way too many fucking bins. So every project I do, I do a bin. That's my organizational structure. If I start a project, it gets a bin. I have way too many fucking bins in my shed.
Yeah, you've been going a little buck wild the last year.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them that are like 90% done. I just need to start wrapping them up. I guess this is. Oh, where? Oh, it's right there. Okay. So,
What's liquid gravity, Sean? Never heard of that. Do you know what it is?
liquid gravity.
Never heard of it.
Fill it with liquid. Probably some kind of liquid metal, I assume, but I'm not sure. So anyway, I bought 2 of these guys, electromagnets. They're 6 volt. I think we looked them up. They do like 5 or something, 8 pounds a piece, something like that.
Yeah, it was something pretty decent.
It was decent. So yeah, I need to get some of that stuff. So I'm gonna put 2 of these in the upper part of this. So they're gonna be mounted up in here somehow. I'm not sure how yet. I haven't got that far. But I got a switch for them to be able to turn them on and off. So the idea is this will rotate over. I'll flip the switch. It'll electromagnetically grab that weight and be stuck on there. I'll swing it back, flip off the electromagnets. It'll drop back into its cradle. It has a little cradle it sits in that actually locks into. Then I can spin it back around, drop the crane, drive away. So I'm gonna have that is gonna be another function. So it's gonna have it'll do all the crane things remotely without touching it.
And then if you
That's the
want, you'll
goal.
still be able to flip the hooks up and lock it in that
Yeah,
way.
actually,
Turn the
I
magnets
thought
off.
about that.
They're
Yeah,
not eating power.
yeah. The idea is to not latch them. Like, I really don't want to have to. Like, I want it to be something I can just do remotely. But I
Yeah.
guess if like I'm lifting something significant, I can leave those latches on there and don't have to worry about it falling
Or if
off.
you know you're going to be running it for like an hour, like, well, let's
Yeah,
put those magnets eating
just the crane
power
part.
and just latch
Yeah.
it and turn them off. But it's still,
Well,
even
and then
this latch is going to be dope as fuck when people watch it go thunk by fucking magic.
so this is the cradle that it sits on. So it actually has latches to latch it to the cradle too. So when I'm driving around,
Yeah.
it won't fall off the truck. So I'm gonna leave those on there and have that still be a thing. But I mean, it's for how much money I have into it.
It's all good,
Definitely,
Tommy. We totally fucked up the beginning of the show because we had weird lag on the preview and stuff. Anyway, so don't worry, you're actually not that late.
yeah. So for how much I'm gonna have into it, it's gonna have a ton of functionality. So
Oh, you
yeah.
gotta show them that the door still works.
Oh yeah, the door still works, of course. Has a little sliding door.
You know what you need to do now is hook that up to an actuator or something.
Well, I what it has on top of this, there's actually a molded windshield wiper on the top. So like if you're doing crane operations, it wipes the top window so you can see. I seriously considered cutting that off, 3D printing a wiper and making a little servo and making it. And I'm like, nope, no, fuck me. Like,
You'll end
like
up.
I have a goal. I know what I want it to do.
It's got to be done soon.
Well, I haven't even fucked with the lights yet. I do want to put lights in it. I haven't fucked with that yet. That's going to be a whole nother project.
And which event is this weekend, anyways, Tommy? I can't remember. You guys are doing like a polling and shit event, I think, right? Is that with Georgia Rock Zombies? But then now what you're forgetting is how you're wiring it up and controlling it.
Yeah, so
Talked about during the fuck up time.
yeah, there's going to be, I want to say 11 or 12 channels. I'd have to count again. I always forget one every time I count. So this whole upper assembly that rotates will have a separate receiver and battery that just runs the crane. So just the arm, the extension, the winch, any lights that are
Everything in
on
the
here.
house. Yeah.
Everything in the house will have its own receiver. The truck, the arms, the lift leg arms, the steering, lights on the truck, they'll have a separate receiver and battery. Benefit of that, I don't have to run wires between the house and the truck. They'll have a whole separate power unit. So I can spin it forever, no wires, nothing. Don't have to worry about
And
weird.
you don't have to have like our heavy equipment excavators use the big ring.
Yeah, contact ring. I don't have to worry about that.
Eventually those get wear and dirt and you got to clean them out.
So the radio I use is I use a Radio Link RC8X and it has model match like Spectrum. So I can drive up to where I want to go, deploy the legs, lift the whole thing up, go into the radio, switch to the other model, which will be the crane. Truck sits there on its legs, and I can run the crane, do all the crane things from that radio.
Yeah, because once the truck is up on its legs, it needs no function at all.
There's nothing. Yeah, it doesn't need anything. So then when I do the crane stuff, I can put the crane back in its cradle, be done with that, switch back to the truck, drop it, swing the legs in, drive away. So that's my plan with the radio system.
Tom just mentioned Killer Bodies make a servo-controlled wiper, which I've seen. They've been doing that for a while. And some of them are pretty compact now. They're almost like the size of like scaled down real wiper mechanism. It's pretty dope.
Well, I've got some really small nano micro rotational servos for doing plane stuff. So I have some that would be.
Yeah, so the wipers are going to end up working.
Not right now, but
the door will end up opening.
The door would be a bitch just because of where it's at and how it moves. It would be a pain in the ass.
Really?
A linear servo. Yeah, a linear servo would have to be done, but not like that. It'd be tricky.
Because it's not like it's easy to slide, right? It doesn't need to be very strong.
It kind of pops out and slides. It kind of pops out.
Okay,
So
it's
it,
got like a locking mechanism. Yeah, that would make.
yeah, so it kind of locks in. So it would be a bitch to do it.
Although, if it's on a servo, it's going to be locked when it's closed. It won't just slide open, so you can kind of defeat
Yeah.
that locking mechanism, grind it out.
There's space in there and behind it for a servo, but not a space because they have all the stuff molded in for like the interior, the seat, and like
Yep.
it would be a pain. It's a pain. But yeah, the next thing is just to get the servos in so I can do the legs to come out and then figure out winch servo to actually run the line.
Yeah, because
Um,
really it's almost done, right?
it's probably 75% there.
I was gonna say
70%.
2/3, 3/4 at least, because it's runs and drives already, right?
Yeah, the whole
Got the whole
drivetrain's good. It
drivetrain in.
runs. Yeah.
So
I got a video on my YouTube of me driving it around and fucking with it. So um yeah, just get the legs popped out, which I figured out mechanically.
oh yeah, I'm gonna interrupt you again. If you haven't been watching Chris's YouTube channel, Scale Audio Solutions, lately, he's been doing live builds of this stuff and just videos of it working or clips of him building it. So
I'm trying to remember to do lives, but I start working and I forget and get a bunch of
yeah,
shit done.
it
So I've
happens.
been trying to do like I think the little short clips of things as I'm doing it are probably I don't know. We'll see what people want. If people start watching it and want like really in-depth stuff, I'll
Yeah.
do live. But like my first live, I think 45 minutes of it was me hacking plastic away with my little X-Acto sauce.
Yeah, but see, you gotta remember too, that's out there forever now. So
Yeah,
it may end up getting 50,000 views over the next couple of years, you know?
yeah. So anyway, that project that's over there. I started working on a different one and made a lot of progress very quickly with it. And I think it's going to come along well. So I think some of you guys, or they've been watching, I've been working on this goofy ass big wheel gyro bike.
Yeah.
I do not know what the fate of this is. I still want to finish it, but it's kind of sitting on the back burner right now just because it's pissing me off.
You'll have
So it's kind of chilling. But then I was like, well, fuck it. I could take that same mechanical principle and do two big wheels on a chassis. So, but I wanted to do it proper scale. So I could do two big wheels. Each one has its own motor. Drive it that way. Easy way, right? No, I can't do it the easy way. I want to do it like the right way. So
you
this is
can
what
do
I've
it, do it
got.
right.
So I want it to be scale. Like if somebody were some crazy ass fucker was going to build this in the real world, how would he build it?
If
Or like
Elon gets bored,
post-apocalyptic crazy shit. So there's two wheels here, actuator for each one. I did wire this up so I can show you guys actually how it works. These actuators are the wrong length, so I'm gonna have to get different ones.
what Sean said, a full crane build series, thumbnailed and tagged right will get hits like you wouldn't believe, and I believe that. I do
Trying
believe
to.
it,
I'm still learning.
Sean. I do.
So, so these guys here. So the idea with this is like if I'm just cruising around, the wheels are like this. So this is gonna have big wheels that spin on the outside, just like
Yep.
this. So the outside wheel spins. But then if I want to be a little more precise and I can bring them in
Oh, that looks cool.
and put it into this kind of high performance mode with the
Do they?
actuators.
Did you set stops so they won't actually hit each other? Because it looks like it'll go in enough to hit each other.
Yeah, they will. And I need shorter throw actuators.
Okay.
Plus, then I won't have to overlap them like this. They can be lined up straight.
Yep.
So these are
Makes
just the ones I had. I wasn't sure what I was going to need. So now I know what I
proof of
need
concept.
mechanically. So
Yeah.
yeah, so there's that. But yeah, they can go all the way in if I wanted them to.
That would be so stable, like right there. You never
Yeah.
open that bitch.
So that's kind of a more performance mode. They come in kind of an outside mode. Now, what makes this unique is the drivetrain. So instead of just running one motor for each one, I'm running a scale drivetrain. So I've got Mach V8. I'm going to do a different one with big zoomies on it, post-apocalyptic. Transmission, axle. This actually has an open differential in it, not locked.
Okay. So
And
you
then
can turn.
on each one of these, on right here, I'm gonna have a brake disc on each one of these right here. A brake disc here, brake disc here.
Mechanical?
Pop up. They're gonna pop up through the top, and I'm gonna have a brake pad that squeezes on each one. So
Yeah.
to turn, I'm actually gonna hit the brakes on one of the axles to turn.
Use the diff action.
Right.
Beautiful.
That's why I have to have an open differential, not a locked one.
Yeah.
So these will have super short little stubby drive lines that can accommodate the movement of the wheels moving.
Yeah.
So, and then that's it really mechanically. It's really simple in that term. I mean, it is and isn't simple. Like to figure it all out and make it work is going to be kind of tricky, but there's not a lot to it beyond that. But then like
Well,
on
keep
here,
it simple, stupid. It always works better.
this is just a plate to mount things just to figure out like locations, geometry, that laser cut. But like on here, I'm gonna have a big seat, dude sitting on it.
That I laser cut, he just casually says. Like everyone has a laser cutter.
So, but on of here, the idea will be like a big seat. The guy will sit in front of here, and there'll be a dude sitting on it with like almost like an airboat style, sitting up high.
He's got to have a shoulder mounted guy.
Yeah, like a little puppet or something on him or something.
Like Rick and Morty when they go to the fucking apocalypse. All right.
But then in each wheel,
use your hair
right
and little
here,
shoulder mounted guys. Put your guns down.
So in each wheel right here, mounted to the chassis, not the wheel, I'm going to put a guy sitting on a gun turret that'll turn this way. So there'll be a gun turret in each wheel that can go this way that sits in the wheel. So the wheel can still come in and he'll stay stationary to the chassis. So each one of these wheels will have a guy sitting on a gun turret. You have a guy in the middle. I think I'm going to put a gun turret like on the front and some like big fuel tanks. It's going to be all decked out. Just kind of like the Borderlands buggy. It's going to be that vibe.
Yeah. Dude, if like the right people see this and they keep doing Mad Max movies,
yeah.
You might get a call from Hollywood. Hey, you want to build one of those for this movie? Sure, 50 grand. Okay.
Yeah. So that's happening. It's coming along. I still have some parts to order. Now that I'm kind of figuring out some geometry and like where things are lining up, how things are going to work.
What's up, Stacy?
So that's coming along good. What else am I
RC Junkyard event. That's right. That's right. I knew I saw it. Oh, there's Jeremy, Mr. Juicebox Balls.
I got the Cat D10 I'm working on still. I don't know if I showed this off before.
Yeah, you did last week. Did you get any more done?
Yeah. No, I ordered the actuators for the blade angle.
Okay.
That's really all I have left. Just decorating and cleaning it up and doing some lights.
Yeah, and then printing your engine parts or whatever, like you were.
Yeah, I got to do a fake engine thing so I could do the battery in and out. But
well, I'm talking on the side.
Yeah, this is coming along well. Yeah, on this detail parts here, so it's
and
not
that's a
open.
noob right,
yeah,
not a
right
router
here.
or anything like that. That was an actual remote control noob right to begin
this
with.
was this was a New Bright wired RC, so it had a cable coming out.
Yeah, you gotta be old to
like
know what that means.
Yeah, so that's what this started as. I still have my little Bobcat that I'm working on. I ordered some actually that. That's been sitting for a while. Start working on your Borderlands buggy soon. And your 3-wheeler. I got everything
How long do we have till Pro Line?
For that, so.
I was thinking about that today and then forgot to look it up.
September. I think it's 2 months from now, almost. So
it's the end of September, right?
I think so. I want to say it's like third weekend in September or something.
Yeah, and I think the TTC event's like the 1st or 2nd. Okay.
It is.
Look at all the hearts.
19th, 2021.
Okay, so mid late.
Yeah. So it's 2 months away.
That means I got several days to figure out if I'm going to drive or buy plane tickets if I want cheap plane tickets. 52 days.
Yeah.
The cheapest time to buy plane tickets. 52 days before your trip.
So yeah, I've got everything like the 3-wheeler project. Mine's pretty much done. I just got to figure out how to put the wheels on, do handlebars, lights, start building your 3-wheeler. I've got everything for it.
And hey, don't stress if you don't have my shit done for Proline.
My goal is to have
I'd rather see you
two
have
board.
all your shit done, and if mine's still in getting printed and shit, whatever, you can send it to me later, and I pay
Oh,
for.
everything's printed. Maybe all the parts are here for both the three-wheeler and the Borderlands. So my goal with all the weird, crazy shit is to have two Borderlands buggies, two three-wheelers, the crane truck probably at this point it's right there.
Yeah,
Um, the double gyro bike that I just showed you, the double gyro big wheel. I want to have that done. The single
the
gyro
single one
probably
done.
just won't be now.
Yeah,
No, I've got some major revisions. I kind of know in my head what I need to do, but it's some major revisions, lots of printing.
well, that's the biggest,
Um,
most craziest project you've done. Like, there's a lot of physics.
yeah, it's super fucking ambitious. Like I'm like you look at it and it's actually like you think I'm pretty close, but uh
I know you're
yeah,
redesigning
there's
like
still a lot of work to do.
80% of it, so.
And it takes a long time to print the parts because they're complex, they're big. I have to print them in really high resolution because the tolerances are so tight.
Yep.
I have to print it slow because the tolerances are tight. So it takes, I mean, that just all of that right there alone is like a week of printing, probably. It's
Well,
just
actually,
takes.
last night, in anticipation of Proline, I Googled how long it takes to drive and what my fastest route is because I was like, well, maybe I can pick John up in Missouri
Yeah,
and go. And I didn't actually do his because I have to go way north by probably
yeah,
10, 12 hours in total. Whereas,
yeah,
but I realized I drive right past RC every day.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh, well, shit, okay. So the first half of the trip's still gonna take 2 days, but then we're together. Someone can sleep in shotgun. So
yep.
I got a lot of thinking to do the next several days if I don't have enough other shit and I have to think about and do.
And
Um,
talking to him about strategizing with him if it's going to work or not.
yeah,
Oh,
because
anyway,
it's nice
yeah,
to drive because then I can bring all kinds of cool shit that's too
yeah,
expensive to ship. You know, the only time I ship heavy equipment is for cabin fever. And that's like, if you're curious what shipping all that shit is, now that's the mining truck that's everything out. That's a fucking pallet that weighs 700 pounds or whatever, 748, something like that.
yeah.
And it wasn't too bad. It was a lot of fucking money, right? But I was worried it was going to be like 1500. It was like 648.
Well, but you were
A
also
lot
only
of money,
shipping
but to
that.
ship a giant pallet like that, full of that much weight, I wasn't I wasn't real happy to spend it, but I was like, well,
Yeah,
that's way better than I thought it was. But I might
yeah.
like
There's
the shop is sold. I might just start driving a cabin fever every year. You know, I'm gonna have the
yeah,
time to where I can be gone for a week at a time for a 3 day event due to drive times. You know.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's pretty much it for my projects right now. That's about where I'm
Okay,
at.
and well, if anyone read the description, like I had a long day doing shit around the house and getting shit done because thankfully my part-time guy was like, "Yeah, I can cover today." And so I did a bunch of landscaping and bullshit when it was 108 degrees out and all that kind of stuff. House cleaning, all that kind of stuff. Then went and did shit at the shop and then had a business meeting with the more than likely buyer for a while. So I got back. I'm like, I don't have the energy to wrench on shit. And I know you've done cool shit. So if anyone has questions, that's got to be Jeremy going fucking buck wild on the emojis. I've never seen that before. Um, but if you guys have any questions about working at a hobby shop, starting a hobby shop, selling a hobby shop, you know, running one, all that kind of shit, feel free to ask. I will tell you everything I can within reason as far as it doesn't mess with NDAs. And obviously, I'm not going to give personal financial info out. But you're good to go. If anyone's ever been curious about it, and there's a lot of ways to go about it, right? I'm just going to tell you my way as a guy that has run other businesses and has business degrees and does this stuff, but there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, right? So if anyone has questions, ask away. And anyone's got questions for Chris, of course, on his badass shit, ask away.
Yeah.
And then I guess if it's slow, then we just call it a fucking night. I wouldn't mind getting to bed and asleep by like 11 tonight. That would be cool. But if people got questions and want to know shit about your projects or business shit with a
Yeah.
hobby shop, ask away and I'll hang out.
Yeah, I've just been going ham on working on stuff, and I can't do anything right now. I gotta wait for parts, so I don't really have anything to work on right now.
And that's kind of like it depends on the mood and where you're at with the project. But sometimes it's kind of a godsend when you're like, oh, I gotta wait 3 days for parts now. Ah, nice break. But then there's other times when you're like, God damn it, I'm so close. If I just had this right now, I could finish it. Fuck, now I don't want to wait.
Yeah, and it's funny because like the servos I need, I had a bag of them, but they're 360s and I need 180s. So like fuck.
Yeah, but 360 should still work, right? You just limit
Yeah, but
the endpoints.
I want to have that limit control. I don't
Yeah,
want it to keep trying to throw and bind
that
and
is super convenient. Hello, buddy.
yeah. So I ordered them. They weren't expensive, $20 for like bag of 10 of them. Just gotta wait for them to get here. And then
Go
yeah,
mess
all
with
the
the.
linkages. Yeah. The only thing I haven't ordered yet that I'm not sure yet is just the winch assembly for the line. I'm still on like back and forth on that.
Oh yeah, and I don't think we got into talking about. I think we did that the first time with how you're going to mount a servo winch potentially.
We him-hawed about it. It's
I think that was when I fucked up and then forgot to hit go live because the lag was messing with
yeah,
me.
so it's turn it so it's not the cradle's not in the way. So I was thinking about putting a scale winch in here to give it more scale look, but it'd be a little trickier to mount, and then I'd have to have a winch controller internally in somewhere, which is fine. There's room, but it's just more wiring. The other thing
Yeah.
is just doing a winch servo. I can mount it kind of out to the side here, put the spool in the middle, kind of 3D printed dress up kit for the servo so it doesn't look like a servo. Benefits of that, it's cheaper, probably just as strong, if not stronger. I can run a bigger spool for more line, so I don't have to worry about not having enough line.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, because
all
you can
around,
3D print whatever spool you need.
I can buy them. You can buy aluminum spools that
You
are,
can.
yeah.
Sewing spools are great for that shit.
Well, they actually make them that are servo threaded. Like they already have splines in them for the
Yeah.
servo, like for Futaba servos. Like they make the spools. So
I haven't
I'll
seen
buy.
any that are really wide though, like you need. Most of them.
There's some. I found some today. They're like eight
Did
or
you?
$9 that are actually pretty wide. Yeah.
Nice.
Uh, and what I'll do is I'll just run a really long. I got really long 3 mil bolts, so I can run the bolt all the way through into the servo and
Well,
support
and
it
then
on the side with a bearing.
figure out how
So
much line you need. In fact, in the next couple days, because hopefully the shop will be selling soon, next couple days, try and figure out how much line you're going to need in total. That's it. Yeah, you're going to want more
well,
than that though, because you want a bunch spooled around the spool because it's stronger that way.
well,
And I
this is
have a
yeah, it was.
like 300, 350 pound test line that'll work perfect for that.
Um, yeah, it has this nylon stuff on here that's actually pretty strong. So, but it's yeah, I'll still do it myself and figure it out, but I don't know if this is enough. I know it was able to go all the way down at full extension all the way out because they had enough on here because I also have this piece. I can extend the
Yep.
boom even farther. So there was enough line here to accommodate this too.
Yeah, and make sure and measure for that. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
so
Bruder, of course they fucking nailed it. It's German engineered toys. It's the exact. So yeah, just measure the line and add like 6 inches or a foot just to have
yeah.
it spooled around.
Yep. So yeah, it'll be all right. And there's yeah, it'll be good.
But I remember when I bought that spool, huge spool, right, of 300, 350 pound test braided fishing line. It was not cheap. And there's still like 97% of it left in the shop, right? Because it's selling a few feet at a time is nothing. So if you
Yeah,
need
that's
any, let me know ASAP because I will just go in and steal it out of inventory. And then I'm probably still going to send you like 2, 3 feet more than you say just to make sure.
What about the wheels for the three-wheeler?
You already bought those.
Well, so you're not going to send me the ones you have?
Well, I will, but see, this is why I wait. Because then if you need line and other shit and whatnot, well, here you go. It's all in one fucking box. I didn't have to ship you
Well,
shit two
there's
times.
also an RC10T hiding over there for me somewhere.
There is. You know, has it? I can't remember if it's come in yet, though. I don't think it's come in yet.
I
Wait, no,
posted
I
a
got all
picture that
three,
did.
right? Again,
Yeah,
first world problems. I can't remember if I have all three yet or not. Yeah, because my HRP one came in before the two from
you
Associate.
posted a picture. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they're all here. You sent a picture of them. So,
yeah. Well,
because I commented on it.
my brain's been fried since Beat the Creek with all the shit going on. So
There's a trying to find it.
350-foot spools of winch line. Yeah, but what's the test
There
on
it
it,
is.
Tommy?
There's a big ass.
Oh yeah,
This is solid lead.
and that came
Yeah,
with it.
that's a hook that came with it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was on it. It's
I
solid
figured
pot.
it
It's
would
like
be
pot metal, but
aluminum
it's
or
heavy.
plastic.
So
That's
no,
good.
yeah, it's
Not the
solid
weight to drop
pot
like it
metal.
needs to. Instead of
Yep,
giving you shit
exactly.
where it messes up in the pulleys and creates a fucking bird's nest.
Yep.
That's no fun. Which is exactly why when you tell me like, yeah, I need 30 inches of that line, I'm gonna be like, all right, 60 it is.
Well, I want to use something that looks kind of scale. So I want to like this silver stuff's awesome. It's like a grayish silver color, so it looks like it's metal line,
The shit I have
but it's
looks
actually.
like cable.
Oh, does it?
It's braided fishing line, like 350
Oh,
foot-pound test.
okay, okay, yeah,
It's got you know how they mix a little colored shit into it. I don't think it's
yeah,
pure black. I think it has like some dark green and blue and shit in it.
okay,
But you'll never notice.
yeah,
Not that you need that strong. No one ever needs that strong for RC shit,
yeah,
but it's nice to go way overkill on stuff like that. Because
yeah.
then you know over the years if it gets chafed and messed up and shit, like you can use that for 30 years and that line is still gonna hold, you know?
Yeah, and it
Because that's
wouldn't
how
be a
I
big
think. I'm
deal
like,
to
well, I
replace it.
bought this, I'm gonna use it the rest of my fucking life. You know? It needs to last. 500 pounds, goddamn. What's the diameter of it? That's hardcore. Because I will say that, of course, the braided fishing line is real slim.
Yeah, yeah, I got stuff to figure out still, but it's close, really
Yeah, you
close.
got a long ways in the last week on that crane. It went
Yeah,
from like everything just a concept and you just gotten parts to like, oh, it's almost done.
yeah, it was all designed in my head, pretty much most of it. So it was just sitting down and doing it. It's been smoky here in like the mid 90s, so I've been inside all day, every day, just working on it. So,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah, a lot of
not much else to
wildfires
do.
over there right now, right?
There's a few, not as bad as it used to. Like we have a really bad one back farther east, Oregon, but nothing close by.
Okay.
Um, Lots of little ones. It's just smoky. It's that
That's
time of
fun.
year. It's not horrible. Like it's been a lot worse before, but between that and the 90 degrees, 95-degree heat, I don't really want to be outside at all. So.
Oh, nice. We bought Yellow Jacket Winch Line Company.
Huh.
I don't, that honestly means nothing to me, but it sounds like a good thing. Yellow Jacket, was that, did you buy it from, uh, God damn it, why can't I think of his name right now? I can't think of his name. Three Brothers. Good guy. I want to say Tom, but I know that's not right. I see him at events all the time.
Oh,
All right, well, we got anything else? Or are we cutting it
not
close
really.
on time tonight?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Because
That's all I've got.
originally the show was only ever supposed to be an hour long, but it's always like an hour and a half to 4 hours.
Right.
And technically, we're at like 45 minutes tonight because I fucked up due to the lag and shit and forgot to press live. Good times.
Good times.
All right. So we good, y'all? I'll give you a 30
Fine.
seconds or a minute for chat lag. 1.25 millimeter. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought Yellow Jacket might have been Three Brothers because of the motors and shit, you know.
Ooh.
Stacy, I can read typo. I know you meant we bought. It's like on the typo in Phil earlier. That's one thing I miss about old phones. I watched what was it this morning before I got to doing shit. The brands that made America, and they were talking about cell phones. And like one of the big things that fucked BlackBerry when the iPhone came out, I was like, yeah, but everyone's gonna want a keyboard. I'm like, yeah, some of us do, but most people don't give a shit. They'll just deal with the typos. But
Right.
I do miss like keys where you knew what you were hitting without a doubt.
It took a while for me to accept on-screen keyboards, that's for sure.
One thing I'll give to iPhone over Android, their keyboard is way better. The few times I've typed on like a buddy's iPhone, like I've
Yeah.
had like one typo in like 4 sentences. If I do it on my fucking Android, I have like 8. Even on this big motherfucker that folds out, right? I still end up. I'm sure there's some different keyboard I can download to fix that. If you know what it is, let me know. All right, Sean's saying have a good one, everyone. So I'm gonna go with Sean. We get to have an early night, and I get to be asleep by like 11 or midnight. Fuck yeah!
Like
All
a
right,
normal person.
thank you, Don't ever call me that again. Uh, so peace out, everybody. Thank you very much for chiming in. I can't wait to see all of Chris's shit done because it's coming out so sick. And we will see you next week.
See you guys.